Hi, home.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. It was awesome experience doing the gift packing.
Yeah, isn't it so much fun? I just love it. And thank you so much for your kind note.
Oh no, no problem. I'm a thinker, but I also like to do things with the hand,
Yeah,
and this is one opportunity that you get to do things with the hand.
I know. And I always imagine the kids getting the gifts. And it's like, it's such a,
It's yeah.
when my son was younger,
Uh,
I had the experience of having some Santa spirit when I couldn't afford to
oh,
buy stuff for him. And
yeah,
I,
my kids used to go with Christmas caroling with when they were with the Girl Scout, so they went out and did the Christmas caroling, which is really very enjoyable.
yes, right. Do you sing?
I don't, but
I don't really either, but we're doing Christmas caroling tomorrow at the
all right,
Hunterdon Hills, whatever, so senior center.
right. But it's like a holiday party. I know Sue mentioned that she would come, and
Yes, and I'm planning to come.
okay, so at least I have two. I got to let them know by tomorrow how many people will be coming.
Okay, we'll see if I think that's probably it, but we'll see if anybody else shows up on this call. That's a pretty
Oh,
good turnout
yeah,
from our group.
that's more than 30% of the.
Right, exactly. um, I don't have a lot to talk about today. We had I'll just talk and we'll see if anybody else shows up, but I had a board meeting with Michelle
Uh,
last week,
okay.
and we are supposed to give a name in for president and president-elect for
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
next 2
Yeah.
years,
Yeah.
which as far as I can tell, doesn't have to actually be the person who does it. They just want a name, right? I mean, that's kind of,
Oh, okay.
I,
Well, in that case, you could put my name, but I really am. I can promise you that I am probably not going to be very productive.
okay, well, so what we're thinking, what
Uh,
we and Michelle went back to Joe, but so Joe Patton has been her business partner, and now he's semi-retired.
okay.
She's going to ask him if he'll be president next year.
Please, yeah.
Can I put you down for president-elect for the following
Okay.
year, and then we'll figure it out next year and see
I'm
who's going to scramble.
with that. Look, I want to really do things, but it's like if I'm assigned to something, I really feel funny for not doing my
Sure.
part.
Yeah, me too. So that's fine. But I think they're just, I don't know. It seems like it's almost a formality because I've seen clubs like switch people out, and I'll just, next year I'm fine doing it again if Joe doesn't want to do it. The year
Okay.
after that, I may not want to do it because my son will have graduated high school and I want to do a bunch of
I
travel.
understand. I understand. I did my 2 years back to back, so
Right, right. I think I've already done two. So, whatever, another one that doesn't matter. And
it
we're
doesn't.
getting somewhere.
Right,
Our
exactly.
membership has grown.
Yeah, yeah,
Whatever, we're getting somewhere. So,
yeah. I spoke to a few people, and let's see whoever I'm able to convince. I have my primary care physician. That I've been trying to convince her. So this year again, he said no, not at this point. So, well,
okay.
I'll break him down.
Well, I mean, being president of this club is not very hard. You just have to show
No,
up every 2 weeks.
exactly.
Um,
But along with that goes other responsibility, like doing the paperwork, or like this one is really good. You could just record your conference, put it on
right,
YouTube.
and then upload it. And now I can do that because my internet situation's fixed. Thankfully, that took forever.
I'm actually very impressed to see. I went back and watched the video, and I said,
Oh,
man, like in my conversation, I picked notes, and it's like
okay, yeah.
I said, that's not good. I've got to
Well,
be careful.
right. You have to be careful what you say and what you're doing while you're. Yeah, I know it's well, whatever. I mean, I don't know how many people are actually watching it, so I'm not too worried about it.
But when you see yourself it makes you conscious, right? No.
Yes, right. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week is a busy week
Right.
because we're doing the holiday. Oh, somebody's here. Bill. Hey, Bill. Nice to see you.
Hi there.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, welcome. Glad to see you.
Yes, I'm glad here. I didn't have to go into the city today, so I was able to attend because there's some hot stuff going on.
Okay, great. I was just announcing that we have 3 events this week. We're doing holiday caroling at 3:30 tomorrow at Hunterdon Hills Senior Rehabilitation Home, something like that. On Wednesday, I'm doing the United Way Helping Hands from 3:30 to 6:30. I think they still have some slots open if anyone else wants to. And Ohm has very
back out at the last minute,
right, exactly.
Yeah.
And then Ohm has invited us to the holiday party for his former club in Somerville, which is at noon in Bridgewater.
Right. It's
Right?
yeah.
And you sent out. I think all of the addresses have gone out.
Yeah.
So
What day was that, Om?
It's Thursday noon.
He has to let people know by tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Okay.
It's
That's
very
gonna be
close to where we had a breakfast. It's very, very close, like half a mile from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Sue and I are going to go too.
Yeah. I would love to be able to go here. My only problem is right now is that we've got so many requests for meetings with people at the UN.
Right.
The kickoff for next year, and that's my big question mark here that I have. I'll try to go and see here. I'll try to put some pressure on those people that have potential meetings for Thursday to let me know, because right now, this time of year, an awful lot of the requests, people can't make the meetings anyway, but they don't tell you usually until the morning of.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because I've got a 2-hour commute into the city, a lot of times I end up going into the city, and then you turn around and then they say, oh, sorry, you can't meet. And I end up having to just, find another meeting to fill out the slot.
Right.
So I'll try to push them this afternoon to see if I can get
Okay.
some.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just let Ohm know directly,
Yeah.
Bill, if you can make it. And
Yeah.
Sue and I are going.
Me email at this point. Myself, Amara, as well as Sue. 3 are confirmed, and if you let me know by tomorrow, I'll let them know. 4 people.
Okay, and that's a noon time.
Yeah. It's in a country club, which is really at center address. It's from where we met.
Yes.
Okay, so membership, Bill, what you missed was we had a board meeting last week. I think I told you I was doing that.
Right.
So membership, Sue, Michelle is going to send out the next batch of semi-annual invoices in January. That's $90 per person. I don't know if Jerica knows that she hasn't paid, but she did come to a couple of meetings, which is fine.
Yeah.
So maybe she wants to consider paying in January.
I'll contact her and ask.
Okay.
Actually, we were supposed to meet on Saturday, but something came in between. So I'll contact her and ask.
Right.
Also, I had a meeting. There was a human rights event, because Human Rights Day at the UN was last Tuesday. And so I attended and had a few minutes to talk. And I just, in 30 seconds, announced what we were doing there. And it was amazing how many people came up to me afterwards and asked how they could join Rotary.
Oh, great. Well,
so I've got a couple of emails to respond to there, and I don't know if you're aware, I think it's either $875 or $785 a year dues at the New York Rotary Club.
Oh my gosh.
And it's a $500 application fee.
Wow.
So our club at $180 is pretty cheap.
Exactly. And it gives those people the opportunity that they don't have to. It's $50 per meeting.
Oh my goodness.
At their club as well. So, which I paid last Thursday. So I think here that several of these people here, there's a good chance that they'll join. And because these are not ones where I went, out and sort of said, hey, this is something that you might find interesting. These are people that approached me with the question. So I think we have a good chance that to see some movement there.
Okay.
Good.
Just as an aside, on when we had the website up before, we had an ability through our PayPal to have a button where people could put in happy and sad dollars or other donations.
Okay.
Which I don't know if we can do that again, but
let's get
doing
what I want to do is get the template, not the template, but the model that I sent you.
Right.
I want to get that on a site so that you can actually go in and see what it looks like before we go and move the URL to that.
Right.
It's actually will be a site. You'll just have to go in and put. I think it's something like ready for fifth / eClub.
Well, you'll send me the link, right?
I'll send you the link
when it's ready.
Yeah, but I think the key thing here is that before we go public, that we want to have members be able to see and have comments on it.
Okay. Just also on the website, since we seem to be on that, and then I'll go back to membership. So my boyfriend Jan is on vacation from basically from the 23rd through January 1st, and he's an IT person. So if we need technical assistance, that would be the time to get it, because he will not be working, because otherwise he's working like ridiculous amounts of hours every day.
I think it would be good to have some other people being aware of how to access, so we can give admin rights to multiple people.
Okay.
Because you never know who can get hit by a bus, and you don't want to.
Right. Well, definitely you can give that to me. I have some HTML skills, and I can always get him to.
So I'm using a tool called Elementor.
I don't know it,
it's a drag and drop. It's literally very easy to do. The biggest challenge is trying to get YouTube stuff. You have to do separately the image, and that is pulling together the resource to put it on there. It's going and doing like Facebook. We tried with Bob Zaglarski here to do Facebook stuff, and we had some students volunteering, but they found it was too difficult for them because if you just put the link to a YouTube in Facebook, you don't actually see it, and it doesn't run there. You've got to go on out to do something. I don't know, something along those lines. Anyway,
well, if there are specific things you want Jan to do, just tell me what they are, and he can probably, fiddle it out.
Okay, great.
Okay, so I had already told Ohm, but I'm just letting you know, we're putting Joe Patton forward as our president for next year, and then Ohm as the president-elect. That may or may not be what actually happens, but that they want something, so we're going to give them that.
Right.
Okay. And then, so I'll say a couple more things, and then I'm going to turn the meeting over to you, Bill, for whatever else you want to tell us. Our next meeting isn't going to be until January 13th. I will get that up on the Facebook page. On January 6th, I'm speaking at the Summit Rotary on organizing, so that's why it's the week after.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. That's all I got. What do you got, Bill?
Okay, one thing here is I've got to go apologize, because it's taken me so long to get the information over to you on the stuff we talked about at the meeting that we had. And I've got a lot of stuff, but it's been a thing. I say, if I dump all that stuff raw, am I creating more confusion than anything else? So I've been getting pushes from, and particularly Bound Brook High School, saying here, hey, they missed the opportunity to participate in the Dare to Be Great last year. And he's been continually writing me. He says, we don't want to miss this one. We don't want to miss this one. This is the faculty advisor for the Interact Club there. And so I finally managed to get off to him a communication. And I'll just forward that communication to you guys so you can see, because I'm working on a version of that now that would be sort of generic, that we can approach any high school with. and because we got to do that this week, really to be effective. But I'm leveraging here the fact that that Rotary has that special. Well, there's two parts of it. I'm on the one hand, we've got the part that is the Dare to Be Great Challenge competition that we're looking for 8 schools in our district to participate in here between the middle of January and the middle of March. Or actually, if we count the finals, it could go into the end of April, beginning of May. But also, I want to use the opportunity to go and say, hey, we have an immediate opportunity in the Model UN taking place at the end of February. And I think, Amar, I sent you a draft of, or an email copy that I had sent to some high schools in New York. But I think here we want to make sure that as we can get to as many of our Interact clubs as possible, and in many, especially the schools that have participated in the past, and make sure that they have an opportunity, because I'd have to find out, are they interested at all by the end of the week, because most of them I think are going on, they have vacation in the schools next week, right?
Yes, right.
Mm-hmm. So at any rate here, I know we had interest expressed from Somerville High School in the past. They hadn't, I don't remember if they actually had anybody. I know Union High School's got students. I think we're going to have from the Monroe, the Edisons. We're going to reach out to them again. Amara, you had North Huntington, I think it was, right?
Yes, right. I think I did all the 100 and.
Yes, exactly. So if you could do that again, I'll get this off to you this afternoon.
Week? Okay.
I'll get the new one so that you can try to reach out to those schools. Rather than just going to the Interact clubs, what I've been doing is going to the schools in general, because it's a Model UN, and a lot of these schools have Model UN clubs specifically. And plus, we're offering the opportunity for students who have an interest, because we have to remember there's a period of tutorials that before they even get started working on their position paper. So we've got like the first half of January where we'll be able to appoint anybody that's wanting to participate. So even students that have never done anything like this before would have that opportunity to participate. An interesting thing happened on a meeting on Thursday evening. I met with a guy who goes and does motivational events. He's a rap singer, and he goes around and does motivational events at hundreds of schools, high schools. So we actually came up with an idea to offer for schools that are normally never considered, because they're in the bottom 20% of schools in project areas and things like this. They're normally never considered for things like this. And if you recall, Amar, we had the folks from Job Corps last year, that
yes.
guy who actually, afterwards was saying, hey, this changed my life. And so in the discussion that came out was the idea of actually approaching the mayor's office in New York.
Okay.
And getting him involved in that in a bigger way. So I'll send you some of the information on that. But right now the idea is to, when we go, because the Model UN clubs and the Interact clubs to a big degree tend to be the elites in the schools, and that when we talk to the schools, to say, hey, you might want to consider giving some kids that are not normally considered to be an elites an opportunity, because this is the kind of thing that can help build confidence and self-esteem, so that they might want to consider that. But the first step here is I want to get out to you that newer communication here that you might be able to send. So you might want to just start calling around to some of those high schools, and you might want to look at the schools that are in I think Somerville's in Somerset County, is it?
Yes. How about
Yeah.
Bridgewater? Do you have Bridgewater and Votech?
No, well, we had some contacts. They came to our Interact conference
Right.
the year before, or last year. Last year they came to our Interact conference, and they were very excited. We got some very positive feedback on that. And I have some contacts. I don't remember which schools are which, but I'll take a look. Amari, you should have it too, because I had sent you that list of all of our contacts in the various schools, some of which were the
Right.
people in Rotary.
Yeah.
And some of them were the advisors, the faculty advisors in the schools.
I don't know if I have that.
Okay, I'll take a look and I'll send that to you again.
Okay.
You know,
I think the list I had was just like a whole bunch of schools with phone numbers, which I got. That was when I called all the. So I have emails for most of the 101s.
Yeah, yeah.
That
Okay.
are good.
The idea here is that, you know, between calling the schools again, because of the fact that we don't want to limit our reach to Interact. We want to be able to go Interact.
Right. Yeah. No. I have like principals and superintendents that I have.
Yeah. Okay. Great. So the number one thing is for me to get out the draft communication,
right,
with the various links in it that might excite some folks,
okay,
and see if we can get here. We do have 100 slots that supposedly, because every time in the past we start off and they tell us we got a whole bunch of slots, and then all of a sudden here that number starts whittling down as other schools, grab the slots. So the earlier we can get out there and try to get folks, the better. So I'll do that right after this call.
Okay, great, thanks. I don't know who I'm gonna. My son's school got closed because of weather. He came home early, so I don't know if anyone's around this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, it might not be this afternoon, maybe it'll be tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow or Wednesday.
So, but we want to do that as quickly as possible so that they have a chance to get there's some feedback in before the end of the week.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, and the other stuff here is just there is a movement now to create a thing called Artists United for a Better World. And particularly musicians. I can forward to you out of Africa. We have one group here, just as an example of the kinds of songs. It's talking about villagers that are disrupted by these marauding militias that are coming in, and you see the families just they got the kids on the back and they're just running for their lives, and then they got a bunch of young folks in Africa that made a song out of all of that. And then the other one is this hip hop guy here singing here in the US. But that has resulted here in more interest in this idea of the song competition, creating a song competition of what's the future you want. So but I'll send those, Amara, to you, and then you can forward them out to whoever.
Okay, sounds good. I will.
Anybody have any questions for me?
Just one. WhatsApp group that you said you initiated,
yes,
but
that's what I meant. That's what I meant here on the apology here point, because we have the group. We have the group, and we have some more members that have said they want to be part of it. The big problem on that is what I don't like about WhatsApp. Yeah. As soon as I start posting things on it, it becomes not visible to anybody we add to the group after that.
That's true. That is true.
And that's something I think is really bad about WhatsApp, because our hope is to grow and get more people involved, and it sort of becomes, you got to keep repeating this stuff over and over and over again. So my thought was here to put all the content into Google Docs.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So we can comment on the Google Docs, and that way, we can just use the WhatsApp as a way to initially get people, and then if we have a discussion group to talk about it. Although again, the problem is, as soon as you talk, and if somebody joins next week or missed that meeting, they have if they missed the meeting.
We can just say, go to Google Docs and you know,
Yeah.
read what we got, and I mean, maybe we can have a summary or something like
Well,
that.
we have the issue. Anybody can come in and put comments on it. So somebody starts a Google Docs with some basic thoughts for discussion, and then other people can add their comments and suggestions, and then anybody else can come on in and read what's sort of the state of thinking, right? So I will do, since you guys are on that one there, we'll go and give a test. I'll add those couple of other people on board here, and
Okay, good.
We'll get started on that.
All right, sounds great, Bill.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay, got anything else, Om?
A couple things. I just wanted to let you guys know I did make a contribution to Rotary Foundation of District 7475. That I get a whole bunch of solicitations. So I wanted to make sure where my contribution would be most effective and benefits our club as well as our district. Beyond that, only one more question I have for you, Amara. You mentioned that you are going to send out the billings of next year in January for $90. So just as a clarification, when I joined, I did pay $180.
Okay.
Is this like an additional bill, or is just that?
So I'm sure Michelle will figure that out. It's for whoever hasn't.
Okay.
When she sends it, she'll see who needs to be billed and who doesn't.
I have a habit of just paying off the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll mention it to her, but I'm sure she's only going to bill the people who still have outstanding balances, not other.
Okay.
The Michelle you're referring to, is that the Michelle from Flemington?
Michelle Heidi? No? I
No.
mean, she lives in somewhere
Yeah,
near Flemington.
She was the one that was involved here, like in the beginning 4 years ago.
No, that's Nicole.
Nicole.
You met Michelle. We met at her office that one time in person.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
In Clinton?
Yep. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I remember now. Yep. Okay.
Yep.
Good. Okay. Yep.
All right. Yeah. She's the treasurer. So she's going to send out the bills in January, and I'll remind her she should check everybody's balance before she sends it.
So Amara just signed me up for Wednesday, and if I back
The
out,
United Way?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I forward you the thing and you sign it? Okay.
Do either of you have time? You know, as I mentioned, a lot of the stuff in New York is like, it's always like last minute, but I get notification of stuff in advance where it's something specifically scheduled. So if either of you have time and you're interested in attending,
I like
these.
I like that because my daughter lives not too far from United Nations, so I visit her once in a while.
Yeah,
so
there's several kinds of conferences here where even if you don't have a grounds pass, where we can put in, as long as we put in like 3 days in advance, you can get what's called an event pass.
Okay.
That lets you get through security into the actual meeting rooms, and then sometimes they have it at there's what's called an NGO resource center that is outside the security zone. It's got security only for its own room.
Right.
And those are, as long as you're registered more than a day in advance, they're open, and they have a lot of times they get discussion groups where people come together and they discuss on a topic where they think things should be.
Yeah.
So I'll try to
let us know.
Yeah, see what's coming up and available, and if you have time and can make it, that would be great.
Great.
Okay. Sounds good, Bill. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Right.
All right. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and I'll talk to you.
Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Yes. Same here. Hopefully we'll be in touch before then, but
Sure.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bye now.
Okay. Bye. Sounds
Bye.
good. Bye.